Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we are here to talk about two brand new mini releases from Natasha Denona. We have the Natasha Denona Mini Biba and the Natasha Denona Mini Rose Cheek Duo. So we're going to talk about them. We are going to swatch them in two different lighting and do a little demo. Plus I will give you my thoughts. Now, my shipment was delayed really about 3 days. So this whole demo is a first impression, and I have been trying to avoid all of the reviews that are coming out before mine, except I have seen some thumbnails, you can't help it, that show some disappointment. So I am going to make sure to be very discerning in my review without being affected by those. But I have seen that there are a few complaints out there. Let's talk about them. First, let me just say that I always appreciate Natasha Denona minis. First of all, because of the price. This eyeshadow palette is $25 and this mini cheek is $19. And though that may be steep, it's not really steep in the high-end beauty category. And I do appreciate Natasha Denona for those offerings, especially because her minis are not throwaways. What do I mean by that? We've even seen Pat McGrath do this a while ago. These kind of intro level, less expensive products that are okay, but they're not the true quality of the brand. And I never see that with Natasha Denona. I don't see that here either. I do think the quality is on par, but we will discuss it especially during the demo. Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about is the Biba. Now, in terms of swatch comparisons, boy, when we get into these warm brownish shades, we would be here all day. And then if we cross-brand reference to other warm brown shades, we would be here through the new year, and no one have time for that. So I am going to do my swatch requests mostly on Instagram. That's what I use my Instagram for. And no request is too steep for me. I'm quite happy to do it for you. As long as that helps your purchasing needs, you just let me know. And I'm home. I mean, it's the holidays, so I'm happy to get those up for you pretty quickly. But let's just talk about these particular shades. Natasha Denona lately has been doing these minis, and it's been confusing people because people go, it just doesn't remind me of the palette it's inspired by. So what she's starting to say now, and I actually think it's really smart of her to do so, she's saying it's kind of an extension row. When you think of the very famous neutral Biba palette, though of course the pans are bigger, there is 5 in a row, and Natasha Denona says, think of this as a 5th row. And when you think of it that way, I see her point very, very much. These are inspired by the Biba, she says, and they are all new shades, 5 new shades. Take a look at that there. 5 new nude, brown, coral, all rosy hues with 3 mattes, a cream powder, and a metallic. Very, very pretty as an extension row inspired by the Biba. Now, when we look at the cream cheek palette, we have, for the first time, we have a cream blush inside of a Natasha Denona mini blush cheek palette. The cream blush is a combination of 2 different shades. It's a combination of the Daria shade, which we have seen actually 2 other times from Natasha Denona. The Daria shade is in the Diamond and Glow palette, if I recall, in powder form. Correct me if I'm wrong. And also the puff paint. So we saw a liquid version of it from Natasha Denona, and here it is for the first time in cream. But it is mixed with the Light Glam cream blush. So remember, in our glam palettes, here's the light glam, here's the light glam cream blush. So you can kind of see that it's almost like a slightly lighter version if you look at the cream blush and this cream blush. And so this is Daria mixed with this shade. And the highlighter you'll recognize is Super Glow Shade 2. If you are a Natasha Denona collector, you will know and recognize that in this little cheek palette. The pans are fairly tiny, but you'll see in the demo, I did okay getting my brush in to them, okay? So I want to show you that. Now let's get to some swatches just of the products at hand in 2 different lightings. First, we have studio lighting. We have the 5 new eyeshadow shades on the left and the 2 cheek palette shades on the right. But studio lighting does tend to wash things out just a tad. So if you're used to my channel, I generally go outside in the warm California sunshine It's not that warm today, but we do have some natural lighting. So let's take it outside into the natural light. Same swatches. They're on my arm in natural lighting. Very, very pretty stuff. And that way will give you a little bit better of a look. Color correction is so difficult, but sometimes natural lighting makes it a bit easier. Take a look there. All right, I want to be very, very critical in a good way of this palette because I am getting a sense that some people are disappointed. I will let you know because I've done the demo already. I'm really not, but I do have a lot to say about it. So let's get to that demo right now. I'm going to come back with nothing on my eyes and nothing on my cheeks. Stay right there. Okay, the Grinch came and visited my set here and ate the tape that I had made. So we're going to do this look again because I really want to show you how these shades perform. But if you see any remnants of makeup on my eyes, that's why I'm doing it for a second time. But I have my hair back so that you can see well, and I have everything here. And let's just do that. Here's a rougher number 1, which I'm very rarely without. And I am going to start over here, right here, with the shade Plush, because I want to show you how this works when it goes over the entire eye. Now, when I have the advantage of having done this look already. So I can tell you, I'm a little bit surprised as I do this look. I thought that a shade like Plush would have a little bit more impact. I'm not really upset because I do enjoy the way it builds. And there's something okay about having to do this a second time because though this is supposed to be a first impression, it kind of ends up becoming an educated second impression, really. And I thought it would be a bit more impactful, but I'm not upset with it because it builds beautifully, if that makes sense. Taking the same brush, I want to go into the second shade, Izzy, right here, and put that into the crease. I don't see a lot of differentiation, I guess it depends on your skin tone, between Izzy here and Plush. I don't see a lot of differentiation, but that's okay. I don't think it's necessarily that important. It does build up a nice base here for us to look at. And, you know, when you work with it, now that it's the second time I'm doing it, and so I know to just kind of go in and not even tap off any product, I'm actually happier with it. So maybe the Grinch was on our side. And I'm going to take a refer number 2 now and start with Wink. Now, when I did this the first time in the Eaton tape, I was a little bit surprised that Wink wasn't as dark, and I still am. So that is, I didn't tap off the brush this time, and I still am. Look, that it's not, Wink is not the best performing shade. And I'm using a good brush for it. But I mean, look, this is a nice neutral eye look so far. I really can't complain about it. Now, I do remember, however, in my original demo, I do like Bruno, and that kind of has to be tapped off a little bit. Bruno, as you see, goes on with a little bit more impact. Whereas, to be honest with you, Izzy, Plush, and Wink kind of become slightly interchangeable. Again, not that this is really a bad thing, guys. I just want you to know they're not that impactful and different shades. It's not a bad thing, though. It's just a thing. In terms of a neutral eye look, though, I mean, not bad, right? Not bad. Not bad at all. And now that we've used all those 4, let's go in with what I find to be a really impactful shade, and that is this Blaze Nude in the middle of the palette. That I think, I'm going to put in the corners here too, is really pretty. And you're going to see now, I mean, I need to add in a little mascara and some eyeliner, but you're going to see now these actually coordinate really well. So let's start with the blush. So this is a cream blush, as I explained to you, the first cream she's ever had. And we are going to go in with Wayne Goss's brush because it is so dense. I thought it would be really nice for a cream. Also, it shows you that I can get into these little small squares. And look at how pretty that applies with a dense goat hair brush. With these cream products, I went in first with the Sonia G Sky Goat, and it works, but it's it's not as dense of a brush, and I like a denser brush for especially a gentle cream blush. Let's overdo it here just so you can kind of see what it looks like. So I'm going to really go to town here. And then let's take this Wayne Goss brush here and go into this Super Glow Shade 2, which you might already own from Natasha Denona. I think it works really nicely in combination with the eye shades. That again does need some mascara. So let me go ahead and fix myself up, and then let's discuss my actual thoughts on whether or not you should add this to your makeup collection. Stay there. Okay, I've added on a little more lipstick, some eyeliner, and mascara. Let's discuss. I see the disappointment that some people have. I was a little surprised. I thought that these 3 shades here would be a little bit more impactful, but I'm not angry at them because I still think they built up really nicely and weren't patchy. This first shade here, Bruno, and of course the middle shade, Blaze Nude, I think performed the way I would have expected all of them to perform, but maybe I'm just looking for something to complain about. This is still a beautifully performing palette. I'm not upset about the end result. I think this is a really pretty look. I have no problems with it. Is it the most exciting mini from Natasha Denona? No, it's not. It's not. Is it the, but does it perform well? And is it pretty? Yeah. Is it, if this were your first Natasha Denona palette, would you be disappointed? No way. If you're a collector, a completionist like me, would you enjoy this? Absolutely. Absolutely. But if you are kind of slowing down on your makeup purchases as we approach the new year, do you need this? Are you going to wish you had this in 2 months? No. So my feelings on this palette are twofold. It's really nice, but the FOMO, when the FOMO fades, right? Fear of missing out fades, you won't be sorry if you missed it. Same thing with the cheek palette. I love having these because I'm always in a rush. I'm sure you guys are too. And it's fun to just have coordinating shades that you know the highlighter works with the blush, and it's a pretty cream to powder blush. I think it coordinates really well with it. I mean, used together, these are really pretty together. This is a little bit less important than this even. It is not her most exciting mini release, but it's affordable and it still performs well. It's not amazing, but it's still nice. If you bought this, I'm not going to tell you you'll be sorry. If you've held off and you want to save a little bit of money, it does all add up. You won't miss it in 2 months. That's the best I can say, if that makes sense to you. So it's a little bit of a mixed review. Let me know your thoughts below, and I'll of course go watch some other reviews and see what folks are saying. But I do want to know what you have to say. That's terribly important to me. So do leave your comments below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I sure hope that you did. And if you haven't already done so, make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that I can see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.